One number would destroy Attorney General Pam Bondi's career in exactly 83 seconds. $847,000. January 7, 2026, Senate Judiciary Committee hearing room buzzes with routine energy. Senator Sheldon Whitehouse sits 3 seats from the chairman, his blue folder marked Russian money laundering treasury evidence closed on the mahogany table. Camera crews position equipment, expecting standard oversight questioning. Press gallery filled with reporters anticipating routine Justice Department budget discussions and prosecutorial policy updates. What they don't know is that Whitehouse spent 6 weeks coordinating with Treasury investigators to obtain classified FinCEN reports proving Attorney General Bondi received $847,000 in Russian-linked wire transfers, while simultaneously protecting those exact money laundering networks through Justice Department policy. At the witness table, Pam Bondi maintains practiced confidence, Navy suit professional, hands clasped with calculated precision. Behind her sit Justice Department advisors, whose briefing materials contain standard talking points about prosecutorial independence and regulatory coordination. None realize they're about to witness the most systematic Russian corruption scandal in Justice Department history. Bondi radiates authority from decades surviving legal warfare. She believes her testimony will focus on standard oversight topics, prosecution statistics, budget allocations, civil rights enforcement. Her legal team prepared her for potential Democratic attacks on Trump loyalty and constitutional authority. She has absolutely no idea that one question about offshore banking will expose $847,000 in Russian payments and trigger 83 seconds of career-ending silence. The folder opens with deliberate precision. Whitehouse begins with dark money expertise developed through decades investigating financial corruption. Attorney General Bondi, during 2025, did you receive communications from foreign nationals concerning policy matters within your official duties? Standard opening, routine territory. Bondi shifts forward confidently. Senator, official channels bring hundreds of communications monthly. Our counsel office reviews and logs everyone as regulations require. White House's gaze remains fixed on classified documents. My question pertains specifically to communications from Russian nationals or intermediaries with Russian financial connections. Not to my knowledge, Senator. Let me refresh your memory. White House raises a Treasury Department document, FinCEN letterhead clearly visible. Are you familiar with Baltec Holdings Limited, a company registered in Nicosia, Cyprus? Bondi's response timing extends beyond normal. My records would need reviewing for specific entities. Allow me to assist. White House lifts the document that will end her career. 4 wire transfers to a Delaware LLC were flagged by Treasury's Financial Crimes Enforcement Network. The LLC registration shows your former law partner as registered agent. Baltec Holdings was the source. He pauses, letting the offshore connection sink in. The transfer intermediary was Ritamu Banka, located in Riga, Latvia, a bank specifically flagged by Treasury for facilitating Russian money laundering and sanctions evasion. Bondi's hands tighten imperceptibly. Transfer dates? March 14th, April 22nd, June 8th, September 3rd, 2025. The amounts were $178,000, $223,000, $251,000, and $215,000. White House's voice carries prosecutorial precision. Total, $847,000 in Russian-linked transfers to an entity connected to the Attorney General of the United States. Gasps ripple through the hearing room. Bondi's knuckles go visibly white under harsh chamber lights. The LLC received dissolution on November 29th, just days before this scheduled hearing. Do you wish to modify your response about Russian communications? No denial emerges, no clarification follows, total silence. White House continues with methodical precision. A large monitor rolls into camera range. FinCEN report materializes on screen. Dollar figures exact. Wire transfer codes showing routing through Tallinn, then Riga, then Wilmington, Delaware. Attorney General Bondi, on June 9, 2025, the day following the third wire transfer of $251,000, you attended a closed-door Senate Banking Committee meeting about sanctions enforcement policy. Can you recall that meeting? Multiple meetings occurred during that time frame. This particular meeting addressed tightening correspondent banking rules for Baltic financial institutions flagged for Russian money laundering. Rytmu Banka, the same bank processing your payments, was specifically discussed. Your position opposed additional restrictions. Does this refresh your memory? Bondi's hand extends toward her water glass, then stops. She returns it to the table, untouched. Regulatory feasibility concerns were what I provided. Whitehouse turns another page, revealing systematic coordination. An encrypted email reached you 4 days prior to that meeting. Server traced to Tallinn, Estonia. Subject line blank. Single PDF attachment titled Correspondent Banking Impact Assessment. Confidential. Revenue projections for 3 Latvian banks appeared, Rytmu Banka among them. Was that communication disclosed to the Ethics Committee as required by law? Silence, the kind that speaks louder than any denial. When you testified opposing sanctions enforcement, were the offshore transfers disclosed to this committee? Bondi's jaw muscles tighten visibly. That connection wasn't made by me at the time. The bank processing $847,000 in payments was identical to the institution you defended in Senate testimony, and this connection escaped your awareness? Whitehouse leans forward. You're telling this committee you didn't notice you were advocating for the same foreign banks paying you hundreds of thousands of dollars? At exactly 83 seconds into his questioning, Whitehouse delivers the evidence that makes criminal prosecution inevitable. September 4th, 2025, day after Wire Transfer 4, an email from your Justice Department account to Treasury Deputy Assistant Secretary. Subject, urgent review of proposed FinCEN enforcement expansion. You requested delay of new reporting requirements targeting shell companies receiving foreign payments through Baltic correspondent banks. He reads her own words. These requirements risk overcapitalizing enforcement resources on low-risk technical violations while creating compliance burdens that could destabilize legitimate cross-border business structures. Low-risk technical violations, your characterization of $847,000 in Russian-linked transfers to your undisclosed LLC. Bondi's breathing becomes barely perceptible, eyes fixed forward, unable to meet his gaze. You weren't speaking about regulatory policy, Attorney General. You were protecting the mechanism processing your Russian payments. No response materializes. Whitehouse reveals the cover-up evidence. 19 encrypted emails between March and October 2025. Server origins, Estonia, Cyprus, Moscow data center. All encrypted. VPN service registered in British Virgin Islands. None appeared in Justice Department communication logs. Metadata documented, IP addresses recorded, content unavailable because encryption key destruction occurred November 30th, 1 day after LLC dissolution. The systematic evidence destruction becomes undeniable. Who ordered encryption key destruction? Silence. Who directed LLC dissolution? More silence. December 2nd. 5 years of financial disclosure forms received amendments. Footnote referencing consultancy income under review. No amount specified. LLC unnamed. Foreign transfers unmentioned. What prompted December 2nd amendments? Counsel advice. Which counsel? External Compliance Counsel. Dmitry Vulov. Whitehouse places a photograph on the table. Miami-based. U.S.-Russian dual citizen. Represents Gazprom Bank subsidiaries. Under Justice Department investigation for FARA violations. Bondi's eyes avoid the photograph. November 28th meeting, Arlington Hotel, 47 minutes duration. LLC dissolution the next day, encryption destruction the day after, amended disclosures 3 days later. What occurred in that meeting? The silence deepens until it becomes physical presence. No sound except HVAC hum as Congress waits for answers that never come. Your official schedule shows June 7th call with BC Strategy, duration 34 minutes, same address as Baltech Holdings. Call preceded encrypted policy document by 1 day, Senate testimony by 2 days. What was discussed? Bondi stares at the table. Simple question. Did requests to influence U.S. policy in exchange for money ever come from Russian entities? Bondi raises her eyes. I have never acted as foreign government representative. That wasn't my question. Silence resumes. Whitehouse gathers his evidence. Subpoenas will issue for all communications with Baltech Holdings, BC Strategy, Dmitry Vulov, phone records, emails, financial records, Justice Department referral for FARA violations, false statements, obstruction proceeds immediately. Your return under oath is scheduled for January 14th. Criminal perjury referrals will follow any false statements. Security approaches as senators demand immediate investigation. Bondi rises shakily, career destroyed, facing federal prosecution for systematic Russian corruption. America watching understood completely. Their attorney general had received $847,000 in Russian payments, while protecting those exact money laundering networks through Justice Department policy. Systematic corruption with documented evidence. $847,000 in Russian blood money, 47-minute coordination meeting, 19 encrypted emails destroyed, 0 explanations for systematic betrayal. Within hours, hashtag Russian Bondi and hashtag 847K corruption dominated global trending. CNN interrupted programming. Attorney General caught with Russian money. Fox News struggled to defend documented Treasury evidence. The FinCEN reports would replay millions of times. Wire transfer evidence became criminal prosecution foundation. Timeline correlation proved systematic coordination with Russian interests. Whitehouse had exposed fundamental truth about Justice Department corruption. America's chief law enforcement officer had sold policy positions to Russian money launderers for $847,000, while systematically covering her tracks through encryption, shell companies, and evidence destruction. 83 seconds of silence that confirmed everything. Russian money, American betrayal, documented proof. The biggest Russian corruption scandal in Justice Department history, exposed with Treasury receipts.